Welcome to Body Work.
Please fasten your seatbelts.
I had 11 Olympians and over 800 national champs. And all those men, they wouldn't do half the work that she do. And I'm seeing it from the young ladies. These last 2 years, when you think about it, all the good fights is coming from the women. The guys is ducking each other, looking for the easy way. Hey. I'm telling you like it is, you know? So again, you know, this young lady done did everything I asked of, and she did more. And I'm watching all the young ladies that's boxing now. It's like they trying to prove they better than men. Now, we knew they was kind of there, but now they showing that they mean. You know, in old days in Philly, we call these guys crazy. And that's the way these women are. So when you go back home, speak nice to you.
Welcome to Body Work.
Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Body Work Boxing. It feels so good to be back. What's going on out there, man? I'm just trying to figure out who we got in the building. And per usual, you all know that class gonna be in section. You know that, right? Y'all do know that class will be in session. Y'all know that, right? I'm gonna say happy Friday the 19th. Man, I just had to come out here, man, because I realized something, man. I realized that boxing conversations and who you have them with can be very tricky, man. And I'm gonna be the first one to say this, man. I'm not gonna say that Teofimo Lopez has never rubbed me wrong, because he did. Teofimo Lopez has rubbed me wrong. You know what I'm saying? He has rubbed me the wrong way, but I sat back. I said, you know what? The young adder spits too much venom. You know what I'm saying? We do realize in nature that the baby adder unknowingly, out of ignorance, when it bites down on his perceived prey, it tends to spit too much venom. And I think that Teofimo Lopez is one of the ones who he might have found himself spitting too much venom at a time or two. I try to be reasonable. And I'm, either Teofimo Lopez and them are listening, or, you know what I'm saying, he just had to assuage his conscience and say that I gotta get right, man, because it was a lot of people, man, contrary to popular belief, revisionist historians, like people who only care about shit like 20, 30 years ago, who only care about that and not the present day and time. They would fail to mention that Teofimo Lopez was the man. Yeah, everything that Devin Haney has done, Teofimo Lopez has done before him. If we want to speak in all honesty, if we want to keep it all right and exact and just speak facts, Equifax, facts plus tax. You know what I'm saying? But he recently he been coming out, man. He been on the heels of Terrence Bud Crawford, and he had some things to say about Terrence Bud Crawford and how everybody he faced wasn't healthy, and how he's healthy, and how he wants Terrence Bud Crawford to actually face him. And the other day, I went through it. The other day, I said, man, was Teofimo Lopez lying? And a lot of people were crying. Now I'm here, and like always, I'm gonna always give my opportunity, because I am gonna show my face, but I'm here, man, and this is just the introductory portion. But I want to play something that Teo said, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, man, in this boxing world, especially on YouTube, man, you gotta qualify everything you say by somebody or something, and then if not, then everybody's stealing and taking from you, and you can take from everybody else. You can pilfer, you can loot, rob, pilfer, plunder. You can take and scrap from everybody else, but the minute somebody says something along the lines of what you think, oh, they stealing. Some of us are so vain, it don't make no dang on sense, man. Like, you can have all the keys, all the tools in the toolbox, but we just don't know how to use them. I'm going to shout out to THZE Cannabis Network. Tio is a bum. You think he a bum? I feel you. Everybody had their own opinion, man. I'm gonna play something, man, that Teofimo Lopez said, man, and we're gonna expound on it. I'm gonna have a class. I'm gonna put the link out, and whoever wants to come and oblige an opportunity, they'll have their chance.
So, January 19th, I said it today. After I beat this boy, let's see what they do next. I bet you Devin Haney's going to go up to 147. They say that they're a 3-time world champion. I bet you Terrence Crawford either going to go to 154 and drop all his belts at 147. Let's see if they do this. Let's see it. Let's see what they do. You know what I'm saying? And I hope somebody got that pre-recorded.
Somebody got that pre-recorded. Teofimo Lopez. So, Teofimo Lopez has been prophetic in many ways here in the past, but I just want to run this back one time for the one time and let you know what Teofimo Lopez had to say about two of the people that many people have on their top 10 pound for pound. A lot of people have Terrence Bud Crawford at number 1 pound for pound. I know I do. Given his performance against Errol Spence, regardless of the state of Errol Spence, I'm still an Errol Spence man down type fan, but I have to salute Terrence Bud Crawford for always being ready, always being prepared. He's a bad man inside that ring, and I call him the closer, and my boxers to watch. But Teofimo Lopez is on his heels, man, and I'm not understanding what's going on out here in this boxing world, where we always applaud one fighter moving from one division to another, seeking out the best, not looking to get their feet wet, not looking to just, keep their head above water, but it's kill or be killed. I'm talking about that Highlander style. It's either me or you. Somebody gotta die. And Teofimo Lopez had a lot to say about Devin Haney, man, and also Terrence Bud Crawford. But this is what he said.
So, January 19th, I said it today. After I beat this boy, let's see what they do next. I bet you Devin Haney's going to go up to 147 and say that they're a three-time world champion. I bet you Terrence Crawford either going to go to 154 and drop all his belts at 147. Let's see if they do this. Let's see it. Let's see what they do. You know what I'm saying? And I hope somebody got that pre-recorded.
Like I said, somebody had that pre-recorded. Teofimo Lopez. And shout out to El Cotto, one of my main Apple Scrapples, always down to chime in. You know what I'm saying? My man got a lot of views. You know what I'm saying? He speak his mind, and this man be on point, man. El Cotto, salute to you, man. Salute to PAZE as well, man. Salute for coming into the building. Salute. You know what I'm saying? Brooklyn Knight in the building. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Baltimore in the house. Body work. Doing that body work from Bodymore, Maryland. You know what I'm talking about? But what do y'all think about what Teofimo Lopez said, man? He said, man, after I get rid of Jermaine Ortiz, we going to see what Devin Haney do. And then we going to see what Terrence Bud Crawford do. And he said Terrence Bud Crawford probably going to drop them belts and go to 154. Cookie Monster in the building doing that body work. He say body work. Flame emoji. Boxing emoji. Flame emoji. That's what I'm talking about, Cookie Monster. But yeah, man, Teofimo Lopez, man, he knows that boxing has a plan, and when we strip away all the politics surrounding Teofimo Lopez, man, I can't help but to actually accentuate the fact that the man has been prophetic in many ways, and many things that he has said has come to pass. Yes. He had a couple blemishes on his record where he actually had one loss to the hands of Cambosis, and even though he got the verdict against Sandor Martin, he actually came out with the victory. And according to my scorecard, I had Teofimo Lopez because men lie and women lie, but the numbers don't lie. Cookie Monster. Back with the laughing emojis. I feel you, Cookie Monster. But Teofimo Lopez, man, one of my favorite fighters, man. He's in my boxes to watch. I call him the Cougar, man, because it's real tricky. You got to have a certain kind of style, and you also have to have something that Teofimo Lopez wants in order for him to show up and show out. Because we all know that in the sport of boxing, a lot of fighters fight up or down to their level of competition. And people don't really want to realize or admit that when Teofimo Lopez went against Cambosis, he had some things going on. It was a fight that was pushed back many times, 3 times to be exact. He went through COVID. He went through a battle with a Floyd pay-per-view in which Triller, out of his hands, decided to actually postpone the deal. You know, then he had his health conditions and blowing up in weight. And he was one of the first ones to say, hey, man, I can't make this weight. I've been struggling with weight, man. I'm about to move up to 140, man. I'm a young, growing man. So he put hands on Lomachenko. Wasn't the first person to put hands on Lomachenko. He was the second person to put hands on Lomachenko after Salido. And I would say that he put on more of a statement than Devin Haney, because when Devin Haney actually fought Lomachenko, Many people say that Lomachenko got the better end of that fight. Me personally, I scored that fight, and I would say that Devin Haney got through by the hair of his chin. It was a matter of that body work. 49-9 body shots landed, with a total of 124 to 110 in total punches landed by Lomachenko. He even got out jabbed in that fight by Lomachenko. When a lot of people don't know, when Devin Haney faced southpaws, he don't really throw that jab. He's not as effective with that jab. And if you let Bill Haney tell it, he was giving up a certain punch. He was giving up the left to be able to do what he wanted to do. Now, in the long term, it worked out, but I only think, and this is my sole stance on this whole Lomachenko and Devin Haney fight, is that Lomachenko took off in the 11th and 12th. Had he popped Devin head back a couple times in the 11th and 12th, we would have got a whole different verdict. No energy for Devin Haney to run back and see Lomachenko again, like the same thing that happened with Teofimo Lopez, I guess because a knockdown was involved in that fight on both sides, in which Kambosos caught Teofimo Lopez with a flash knockdown. And then also, I think in the 10th round, I think Teofimo Lopez also caught George Kambosos with a flash knockdown, although I think the knockdown of Teofimo Lopez when he knocked down George Kambosos was more impactful in that fight. The only thing is, George Kambosos showed up and showed out in the championship rounds, the 11th and the 12th. And that's my assessment on it. A lot of energy for him to go ahead and get back. But we see that Kambosos and Lomachenko about to get it on, like popcorn or Donkey Kong. And there's a lot of rumblings coming out of the Teofimo Lopez camp, talking about Jermaine Ortiz. He's saying he got his eyes set on straight. You know what I'm saying? He got tunnel vision when it comes to Jermaine Ortiz because he's a tactician. He knows what's going on. But in my heart of hearts, I got Teofimo Lopez stopping Jermaine Ortiz. And I was one of the ones who, when me and my old head were talking about it, and my old head got wind that Teofimo Lopez was getting ready to fight Josh Taylor, and I said, you know what? I think that Teofimo Lopez can fight Josh Taylor because he didn't know that Teofimo Lopez had been stalking Josh Taylor. He had been saying his name for a couple years before they actually got in the ring. And everybody thought that he was on that bullshit every time he would actually announce Josh Taylor. And I said, I don't know, man. I got Teofimo Lopez getting with Josh Taylor because I know that when there's no incentive and the way Top Rank was doing him and how underpaid Teofimo Lopez is, I just got to call it how it is. But with the resume he got, the man is very unpaid. A lot of people use socialism and politics, and if you like this voice or that opinion or that stage or whatever, that platform, then they're going to shit on you. And if they shit on Teo, then you're going to be locked and step with what they say. However, Teofimo Lopez is a likable guy. He got through with a couple racist comments before. Came back and cleared it up. He let you know what it is. And if you judge this man by his resume and his actions inside the ring, you can't help but actually give that man his credit. He's a killer, especially if it's a notable fight. And I can't help but know that at one point in time, I know because it's on one of my old videos, Bob Arum had actually came out and said that Teofimo Lopez and Tank Davis would be good and it would be a pay-per-view fight. He was saying it was down the road, but this was about a year and a half before we could start actually expecting or start to anticipate a fight with Teofimo Lopez and Gervonta Tank Davis. But Bob Arum came out and said it, and why? I think because Teofimo is an established fighter. He's no longer being built up. He's been developed. He went out and stopped Comey on Heisman night. Yikes. And yeah, he pulled out of a little tournament, you know what I'm saying, that Devin Haney and the clan was in, but Teofimo Sr., they got wind that tournament wasn't going to lead to Lomachenko. They said, Eureka, we're going to get out of this tournament, and then we're going to go out there and we're going to spike Comey on Heisman night. We're going to do a backflip and all. We're going to put on the show. And I'd be, God damn. He put on a show. He spiked Comey. And I was kind of nervous because at that point in time, man, Comey, he has an offensive arsenal. He's a striker. He got a throwaway punch. And if you get distracted by that, he can come by. He can strike you. And he might be able to get you out of there if you ain't supposed to be in there. Then what he went on to be after he got spiked and what happened with his career after Teofimo Lopez, that's not none of my concern. I respect what you're calling me. He shared the ring with a lot of different people. You know what I'm saying? He shared the ring with Lomachenko. Lomachenko was able to get him up out of there. But I digress. But once Teofimo Lopez actually grabbed that strap, that IBF, Lomachenko was like, welcome to my club. That's when it was all scheduled and set for Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez to have that showdown. And Teofimo Lopez, because I know at least 2 years before he fought Lomachenko, he had been calling him saying, hey man, he don't want to respect me, he don't want to do this, he don't want to do that. And Lomachenko just sidestepped him, gave him no attention, gave him no play. You know what I'm saying? Like that bad chick that was in high school and you be like, hey, Gio ain't get no play from Loma. Ain't no play in GA. Ain't no play in GA. But somehow, Teofimo Lopez beat Richard Coleman. He had that IBF strap. Lomachenko had the other 3 straps. Lomachenko had anticipated trying to get undisputed. So he got it on with Teofimo Lopez for that last strap. Teofimo Lopez showed out. Made Lomachenko put his hands in his pocket. But I'm not going to ask you to take my word for it. I'm just going to ask you to go back and do a little bit of homework. This is class work. And for at least the first 7 rounds, Lomachenko didn't even throw double-digit punches. You know what I'm saying? In his arsenal. We know that he can be very offensive because what he did to Devin Haney was very offensive. Teofimo Lopez weathered the storm when Loma started coming back in the 7th, 8th round. That's when things started clicking for Lomachenko. I guess he was warming up. I think he kind of got used to Teofimo Lopez's power. And Teofimo Lopez was actually on the verge of actually stopping Lomachenko if you go back and watch that fight. But if you look in that 12th round, if you look back in the last round that they fought, Lomachenko was using his head, trying to bust up Teofimo Lopez. My day one, Aaron Jones, man, my main Apple Scrapple. What's up, brother? 100 emoji, man. I'm glad to see that life treating you good, man, and you graced the live. I'm sitting out here laying out a little bit of information about Teofimo Lopez, man. And I'm like, when it comes down to Teofimo Lopez, man, he can't have it bad both ways. When you listening to it, he can't be ripping Devin and Bud. He can't be like above and below. Don't they say as above, so below? So Teofimo Lopez is actually facing greatness by attaching his name to Terrence Bud Crawford, saying that, hey, man, everybody you fought, man, they had an ailment, an injury. Something was going on. I'm kind of healthy. I want to see you. What's going on? And Bud like, stop it, knock it off. And all his bodyguards are like, knock it off. And I'm like, hold on, man. Aaron Jones said, no question, brother. I like to see my brothers thriving and surviving. You know what I'm saying? But Teofimo Lopez like, hold on, man. I want a piece of that, bud. If I lose, I lose. But I'm chasing greatness. I'm chasing legacy. And everybody say that I'm clout chasing. But if you've been doing your homework, they ain't saying Nathan. The Teofimo Lopez been on Devin Haney's bumper. You've been pulling up. And everything that Devin Haney get credit for, Teofimo Lopez did it first. And I know it's somebody like the mock Teofimo Lopez instead of, oh, we did it first, we wanted it right, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, he did do it first. That's a fact. You can't argue with it. You can't argue with the fact that Teofimo Lopez has done everything that Devin Haney did first, but gets no credit. Now, do we get off his rocker? Maybe. Is the press all in his face with a mic in his face all the time? Absolutely. Do he get off his rocker every now and again and say something that's off the rails? Absolutely. Is his father a little bit overzealous and say a little bit of thing? It might not be as careful as he need to be with those words that he speaks? Absolutely. Absolutely. But that don't take away from Teofimo Lopez's feet. You know what I'm saying? It don't take away from Teofimo Lopez's feet. And my man Aaron Jones back in the comment section. It's crazy because the Haney's clout chase and fight T.O. leftover just like they do Tank. It's kind of crazy. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's why he one of my day ones, because real recognize real, man. You know, hey, because if you think that memo when they was in that tournament, if you think that T.O. and T.O. Sr. were the only ones that got the memo, somebody told you wrong, Black. Somebody had to actually pull your coattail and say, hey, nah, man. So Devin Haney and them all actually knew that, hey, winning that tournament was not going to get you to land on the doorsteps of a Lomachenko. Lomachenko only had one thing left, and that was actually a belt for the IBF. So T.O. and Senior said, oh, we got to get something that Teofimo wants. He goes out on Heisman night and spikes Richard Coleman in devastating fashion to get that belt. The Loma hops in the ring, and he says, welcome to my club. But he been on Devin Haney in them hills. He actually came out and exposed the fact that Devin Haney ducked him 3 times. They were trying to say that man priced himself out, man. And we gotta understand is that whatever network that the Haneys represent or they're on, that's the ones that's gonna actually dictate the money. They have always underpaid Teofimo Lopez, man. And I never consider another man's number, just like when the Joker always say this when he say, never rub up against another man's rhubarb. I don't do it. But I do have to recognize real when I see it. And the fact that they're not paying T.O. what he's worth, resume-wise. That's a hard fact that a lot of people can't deal with. But if you look at his resume, if you're not drinking the Kool-Aid, if you're not sipping the Kool-Aid, if you're not sipping the wine, you're not part of a cause. If you remove yourself and you just consider that one thing when they say facts over feeling, you'll realize that Teofimo Lopez is on to something. He been pulled up Devin Haney's skirt. And whether or not he will lose the bud, I think skill set and all the film and the fact that there is a blueprint to actually beat T.O. and the skill set of a bud and all that, I think that it is a mismatch. I do. But when I look at the actual fighting, when T.O. was up for a fight and him and his father coming together with a game plan, they can capitalize on some things they might have seen in the ring. T.O. has more than just a puncher's chance. Look at Gamboa. Calvin Marcus knocked him down. But it's impossible to ask somebody from 140 to fight somebody moving up at 147. We just saw it at 135 moving up to 140. We seen it from 135 moving up to 140 when it came to Tank Davis. We see it all the time when somebody can move up a whole rank and be different, be better. When you got a game plan, when you seek the smoke, when you know the weaknesses, it's on. And that's Teofimo Lopez, man. So, whether he's right or wrong, he can't be wrong about both. Let me say it again. Teofimo Lopez can't be wrong about both. So I want to know what you think, man. This is class. I ask that you take notes. I ask that you go back and you do your homework. You can get with a peer. You can review what's going on. But this is what Teofimo Lopez had to say.
So, January 19th, I said it today. After I beat this boy, let's see what they do next. I bet you Devin Haney's going to go up to 147 and say that they're a 3-time world champion. I bet you Crawford is either going to go to 154 and drop all his belts at 147. Let's see if they do this. Let's see it. Let's see what they do. You know what I'm saying? And I hope somebody got that pre-recorded.
And I got that pre-recorded. But my man Aaron Jones right back in the comments as he said, that's why I was happy as shit T.O. lost to Cambosos. They was quick to call Bob, but why not call Al with the same urgency now that they are free? And I say that all the time, man. I'm like, how do you be with the plug and in Showtime? You leave that plug and you'll get with a foreign plug, some Europeans. Then you leave that plug to go get with Al, which is the arch nemesis to the plug. That would be the op to the plug if you know your history. And then you complain about not being able to get a deal with the original plug. It was like, well, hold on, homie. You had stayed in your parking spot, everything will be hot. But you chose to get out of your spot. Now your food is gone, and it's like it or not. Tank that took your spot. But it was best laid plans for Devin Haney, whom Eddie Hearn built up on his European platform, flying people in and giving special orders. And not forget that Devin Haney maneuvered around Fortuna. You might say, oh man, look at Fortuna in his last fight. Look at that fight with Ryan Garcia, blah, blah, blah. Look at the fight with JoJo Diaz. Yeah, but that wasn't the same Javier Fortuna that was supposed to get his hands on Devin Haney. He conveniently had a shoulder injury not to fight Javier Fortuna. And Javier Fortuna and JoJo Diaz got it on, but let's not forget that JoJo Diaz wasn't even at 135, but because of his victory with Fortuna, that gave him an opportunity to be able to get in the ring and swing when it came to Devin Haney. We see how aggressive they are when they want something. It's like, oh, they say everything but let's fight. But being that Bill Haney is not a true promoter, he has a network where he has to go get money from. So it's almost like you got to actually have. Remember when your mom sent you to the grocery store, to the store, and she said, hey, man, bring me back a good bar. She gave you $2. Like, hey, give me a good bar. You keep the change, get whatever you want. That's the kind of deal that Devin Haney got. The Zone give him that $1 and tell him, hey, go get me a cookie bar. Go ahead and see what's going on, and then come back to me, and we're going to see what's really popping. So Bill is really a manager and trainer. He does not have the purse. That's why they're at the mercy of actually having to accept offers. It makes no sense for them to be able to go over there to Al because they are affiliated with the Zone. And Eddie Hearn has to actually write that check. Why do you think they all on the Saudi jock strap, B? Eureka! So the Saudis got a blank check. We're not going to trace that money and who they link to and what's going on, but I think it's a whole lot of money up there. I'm just telling you how it is. Sound kind of odd. The man that can't even get enough people in the audience to pay for the salaries of him and his opponent, which was 1.5 apiece, equaling $3 million guaranteed up front, paid to one Devin Haney and one Regis Prograde. When you doing 35 to 55K at what, $60 a wop with great advertisement, but over there in San Francisco with a San Francisco treat, and y'all are still in the red. God damn. It don't make sense to call Al, do it? Because Al gonna be like, hey man, according to these numbers, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. You heard me? If my hustle treating me right, why I'm gonna knock yours? If my hustle treating me real right. And salute to Aaron Jones. I remember that. LOL. They definitely ain't jumping there for that Fortuna. Yeah, man. Yeah, they greased on by that Fortuna. And when they got that belt, when they got that belt, because Loma got elevated the franchise and they got that WBC strap, it was a period of 2 weeks when Mauricio Suleiman said, hey, you could have petitioned Lomachenko. Go back, do your research, do your homework, go look it up. Mauricio Suleiman called out Devin Haney because they actually told him, hey, man, you had 2 weeks to try to get this fight with Lomachenko. You had 2 weeks, but no, you didn't want to do that. You was comfortable with him being elevated and you getting that strap. Why? Because you gonna go on the first thing spoken to try to defend it, and that's when they got that guy Santiago from Puerto Rico. Now I think Santiago was like 16-0, and Santiago was catching that man with that right hand. He just ain't had the power and the endurance that he needed. Devin Haney wound up, you know what I'm saying, catching up to him and outboxing him in the long run. But they needed to get a tighter defense on that strap instead of actually petitioning the fight Loma. Why? Because at that point in time, if you look back and you see how that fight went with Lomachenko, which was 2.5, almost 3 years later when he fought him, if you rewind that clock 2.5, 3 years later, without the war, without having fought Teofimo Lopez, without all of that, without having to go through Comey and Nakatani, because Lomachenko did spin the block after Teo and then went and did all of that. So I don't take away from his praise. He's earned my respect. But if you look back and you turn back that hands of time on Lomachenko when they would originally fought, when Devin first said that he was too old and too small, if you look back at that, that fight would have been whole different. Because the only thing that saved Devin Haney was his body work. 49-9. And the fact that Lomachenko took off in the 11th and 12th round. And that was the impetus to actually give the judges enough credit to be able to say that Devin actually won that fight. We won that clock 2.5, 3 years. I mean, we can do that with some of ourselves in our real lives. We wind the clock back. Think about some things you was able to do 2.5 to 3 years ago that you be like, you would hesitate now. You might even step off the curb the right way, the same way that you did 2.5, 3 years ago if you got a little bit of age on you like me. And Cookie Monster back in the building. Y'all better stop talking about the best fools in boxing. Them Haney boys are just wonderfully amazing. Oh, man, Cookie. Oh, man. And Eric Jones, Ruiz versus Ortiz, 2 old heavyweights did more pay-per-view buys than Devin. Shaking my head. Absolutely. The numbers don't lie. All year of little numbers. You know what I'm saying? You know how when they say, hey, man, you know how they use another synonym, but they remember when someone was like, oh, man, don't you hate when you get a cat and he talking with that big energy? You know what I'm saying? Like, why Devin Haney and them all be using that big number energy, man? It's like, you can't be using that big number energy, man. You gotta speak like you got that little number energy. You know what I'm saying? Talk, lower your tone, like Samora said. Coming in here with that big D energy. So let's replace the D with the numbers. Devin and them be talking with that big number energy, man. Like, hold on, man. Lower your goddamn tone. Lower your tone in your own home. Country. You out there in the Bay, couldn't sell out. Had to lie. Bamboozle. Flim flam. Plymouth Rock didn't have no us. I think El Cotto, Tio will be the first one to fight Matias out of Ryan, Rowley, Haney, and Russell. Absolutely. Listen, whether or not he win, that's not our... See, we can't predict the outcome. It's the energy. It's so funny that Teofimo Lopez, he's trying to fight Devin Haney. He's trying to fight Terrence Bud Crawford. And everybody's saying, oh, man, he just want to clout chase. He just want to run around. He just want to blah, blah, blah. It's like, no. Look at his actions. And Teofimo Lopez and Bud Crawford do some numbers. Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney, they do some numbers. But it's mighty strange how people who have the most energy to actually fight them boys, they don't have no energy for them. Aaron Jones, can't believe Sean Porter let Bill trash Tank on his podcast, which was cool at first, but now he it. Bill do that, his podcast, not credible no more. But I had been calling like Ant and Sean and all them. I like Sean. I respect Sean for actually putting on the gloves and all that. You know what I'm saying? I respect Sean for doing that. But at the same time, you know, to a certain extent, he's always gonna be a company man. You know what I'm saying? So you can never fully put all of your trust in the company, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just certain things. Even the job and everything that I work for, man. When I'm, you know, when I'm on the clock and I'm doing everything, man, it's only so much that I can actually do. But hey, Aaron, man, you dropped some jewels, man. I'll listen to that playback like 2 more times, man. I'm gonna do a single episode about it. I'm gonna carve you out and I'm gonna put you in there, man, because you actually you dropped some jewels, man. And I think the way you deliver it or whatever, I think that it would go over a lot of people's heads, but I had the luxury of actually listening to it twice. You made like 3 major points that were spot on. You know what I'm saying about Tank and the market, his market share, and what was really going on, and how everybody perceived everything. And I think that nobody really got that. You know what I'm saying? I got it, but I ain't see a lot of people commenting on it. You know what I'm saying? But I think it kind of went over everybody's head. But I'm putting the link out there. Anybody out there that want to get out there, you know what I'm saying, who want to get up and actually speak their little piece and say what they got going on, feel free. You know what I'm saying? Aaron Jones, one of my day ones, he be spitting that hot fire, you know. But it's Friday. I ain't got nothing to do. And I'm in the booth letting loose. What it do? I'm getting ready to show my face. I want to actually put out the link, man. I want to say, hey, man, is Teofimo Lopez on to something? And I wanted to bookmark this episode because this is the episode where I actually put it out there that Teofimo Lopez put, I would say, above and below. Because I mean, even though Devin came up and got 140, he got that strap from Regis. I guess a lot of people are still looking at him as below because they keep linking him in the Tank when he's at 140. Talking about fighting Keith Thurman or Mario Barrios at 147. But it's a curse word right now for him to mention Sabrina Matias. And Sabrina Matias said that he was a chick. Oh, and thanks for my man Abimelech, man. He caught it, man. Abimelech, salute to you, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do a segment with Abimelech, man, and we're gonna talk about his boxing experience. When he was in, I think he was in 96 or whatever. He's former military just like me. I'm gonna do an interview with him, and he's gonna tell us all about his experience in boxing and everything. But he caught it, man. And I was in my last video I did about Matias, man. Yeah, he didn't call Rolly pussy. He called Rolly, what did he call Rolly? A joker, I think. But I was saying, man, you got your signals crossed because Devin Haney ain't chicken, he pussy. And we seeing it in real time. That's because I done seen all this play out, LOL. Devin was cool at first until a certain YouTube group turned Devin out, and I watched it. Yeah, I saw it, man. They were the ones that actually got me to buy the Zone. I bought the Zone because of them, man. They were pushing Devin Haney. I'm like, who is this? Oh, it was attaching his name. It was just always tanking. This. I was like, who is this guy? I watched this sleeping. No lie. No lie. You hear a lot of fans. No lie. The first time I watched him, man, I fell asleep. And if you're doing that sweet science, man, it's clear and evident, I'm going to be alert because I'm seeing what I know in real time enacted in a person in real time. So if you do the sweet science, I'm going to be watching. But the first time I saw the young man, I fell asleep. I fell asleep. But I'm thinking, man, hey, man, where all them people that be in the mess hall with their chests out? Where you at? If you in the mess hall with your chest out, where you at? I'm here. When you part of the popular group that like to call out big names, you know what I'm saying? On my layout, I don't know, man. I gotta get better at that. Oh, that's all I gotta do. What's going on, y'all? Man, boxing is full of politics, man. I think it's the loudest voices in the room who can influence this group of people and get this whole narrative started and keep it rolling and create this avalanche. And it's really not the real recognizing the real. You know what I'm saying? I still hear a lot of people crying for Deontay Wilder. I'm like, I'm perplexed. I'm like, hold on. The deal was if you beat Joseph Parker and Anthony Joshua beat his guy, then y'all was going to fight. But you didn't come in there being as aggressive and as offensive that you normally are. And because you lost, is AJ fault? We got to make that make sense, man. I be trying to support my bros, you know what I'm saying? I'm never just going to arbitrarily just hate on another black man. That's just not in me. It's not in my DNA. Let's see. Man, Jones back in the building. He say, I'm ready to join. Walking in the house now. Yeah, man, Aaron, man, take your time, brother. Get relaxed, man. I appreciate and value everything that you say, man, because you even though on everything, but you got my ears because you done told me some things. I'm like, nah, and then it came to pass. I'm like, all right, let me listen to Aaron Jones then, because he sees something, and I like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm humble enough to say, hey, man, I have my things and how I look at everything and how I view everything, and I got my line of thinking, but I'm open to hear from other people. It ain't gotta be toxic. And my man Aaron Jones, man, he be knowing what's up, man. He got his own little insight and everything. He speak on something, but he dropped some jewels the last time he was on here. So whenever you ready to click the link, brother, hey, it's on. But I'm just sitting up here, man. I'm just analyzing everything. My man Coquee, hey, body work. You know I'm doing that body work. You know what I'm saying? I can't take things for face value. I gotta do my body work. It's called being a grown man and not a YouTube pussy. Exactly, Aaron Jones. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's called, man. We on our grown man BI. And Koki back. Tio said he been training since August. Hopefully he shows out against Ortiz on February the 8th. Listen, man. I haven't seen anything from Jermaine Ortiz to let me know that it's going to be a problem with Teofimo Lopez. And Teofimo Lopez, contrary to popular belief, is like, Teofimo Lopez is one of them fighters to where he's truly the definition of he's the only one that can beat himself. With Teofimo Lopez, head is not on straight, and he going through some mental things, just like when he was with Nakatani and with Kambosos, he was going through some things, man. You gotta think, man. We try to act like we immoral and inhuman, but if you ever been in a relationship with a real woman, if you a heterosexual male, and you've been in love with a woman and you've been through some things and y'all go through some things, you already know that nothing is right if that's not right. That was his first child and he was going through issues with his child's mother. Nobody took that in consideration. You know, whatever happened with that relationship that was messing with his head, how Bob and them didn't want to pay him. He thought he had found a way out with Triller, and everybody would say, oh man, he outsmarted Bob, and then Triller moved the fight back because Floyd Mayweather had a fight in the same night and they didn't want to clash with him and compete with Floyd when they should have really just went ahead and did it and just risked the biscuit because Teofimo was ready. Then the fight get pushed back and then he get COVID and it was all this other stuff. And by the time he get in the ring, it's like a year and a half later, he's gaining weight. The same struggles that Devin Haney said that he had when he was dealing with weight issues, Teofimo Lopez was dealing with those same issues. Only Teofimo Lopez was transparent about it. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. And hey, Aaron Jones back in there. We not emotionally attached to fighters, bruh. That shit be weird. Yeah, man, we not emotionally attached. You know what I'm saying? And then my man, Koki, facts, body work. You know what I'm saying? That's all I do is Equifax plus tax. You know that. But yeah, man, people don't want to recognize real. And I think that politically, man, I hear a lot of people just, man, first of all, T.O. don't got no. I'm like, hold on. First of all, the dude did everything. So any respect that you got on Devin Haney name, you got to double that for Teofimo Lopez because he did everything that Devin Haney did before Devin Haney did it. If you take your goggles on and your goggles are on backwards, Teofimo Lopez was that guy. Teofimo Lopez, I had to tell my old head, we got to talking about it, and on that, Teofimo Lopez, when he finally got a hold of Josh Taylor, me and my old head were talking about it. I got a huge segment. Me and my old head, we talk about Noya anyway. One of the best, get like over 1,000 views every video, damn near every video we do. We get over 1,000 views on the Noya anyway. So I talk to my old head when I'm feeling all rah, and somebody need to talk me down off the ledge. He talks me down because he been watching boxing longer than me. A few more decades than me. You know what I'm saying? Which is rightfully so. But when he asked me about the Teofimo Lopez and the Josh Taylor fight, I said, man, Teofimo Lopez is gonna do his thing. I said, yeah. I said, I got Teofimo Lopez. He's like, really? I said, yeah, I got Teofimo Lopez doing this thing. Why? Because he had already set his sights on Josh Taylor. He had already seen something in Josh Taylor that he could capitalize on. So he had been visualizing that for the longest time. Yeah, he had his little thing with Kambosos. He went in there with Kambosos like a bull in a china shop. Kambosos is an excellent counterpuncher, especially when you're not sticking to the rules. And boxers know that when you're being sloppy, you're doing sloppy work, when aggressive come forward fighter versus a accurate counterpuncher, you know what I'm saying, is a recipe for disaster. Teofimo Lopez thought he was just going to go in there and spike Kambosos, dealing with the weight, trying to get it over with, dealing with the anticipation, not being paid, dealing with all that mental health stuff. He had a bad night in the office. It happens. The style that Kambosos has fit right into Devin Haney's hands. That's why we always got to ask ourselves, why would Devin Haney be so desperate to take peanuts to go over there and fight Kambosos? And everybody want to complain, he took peanuts. to go fight Cambosis. He sacrificed. He almost did it without his father. He had to, bro. He had no leverage. The WBC belt that he had was only given because Loma said, all right, take that. Elevate me and take that. Like Puffy. Take that. Take that. And you see where Puffy at right now. In a world full of And we seen Puffy and Devin in that pool. They both in a world full of Them circles are, them sharks are circling. You know what I'm saying? It's blood in the water. Is Gervonta Davis going to fight on Amazon debut? I don't have any information about it, Kokui. You know what I'm saying? As much as I would love to, I don't have any information about it, man. I'm sitting, I told myself, man, I'm not going to keep doing stuff about Tank because we don't know what the truth is. So I got to get some more concrete information about that before I actually do a video about it. But I'm hoping so. I'm hoping. But we got to give Teofimo Lopez some credit, man. And if you can get facts over feelings and you don't want to really witness and acquiesce to actually what's going on with your eyes see, it's just like when the commentators be commentating on fights, and for whatever reason, when the guy that they don't like, when he actually, sticking to the body and he doing his jab and he's weaving and bobbing, they don't talk about none of that. But the guy that they want, they calling out everything he throw. Oh man, look at the combination, whatever. It's like, man, you can be deceived. Even out here when fights aren't going on and people are doing content and actually infiltrating your psyche, your broker with this information. You know what I'm saying? Because you can sit there and watch a fight and in your mind, you like, oh man, this guy's getting the best of this guy. But if you listen to the commentary, you can be like, oh yeah, that is right. Why? Because they're programming. That's happening outside of the ring as well when you listen to a lot of content creators who don't call it straight down the middle. You know what I'm saying? Teofimo Lopez is highly respected. Antonio Josino, salute. Thanks for coming into the building. We want fighters that want to make fights. Boxing fans are not blind to the real dealers in the boxing game. Oh, Matias, I gotta run. Quick. Gray Russell, oh no, I'm good. Gotta go. BS. Yeah. Absolutely. You want to see the best fight the best, man. It's a mano a mano. It's brutal. You get hit in the head for a living. I understand that. I salute that. And if I give out all my list of pay-per-view, I'm going to do a video with all the pay-per-views I bought last year so that if you come to me asking me no dumb question, ask me why you talk about Devin like that? Or why you do this? Is like because I'm a boxing fan and I can critique fighters. Why you say that about Boots? Because I'm a boxing fan and I critique fighters. I don't just sing their praises. And I do that. I'm one of the hardest critics on my own. Because I know I got to be extra critical for the people that be coming at me in defense of the guys that I represent. So I got to keep it a buck. But my friend, there's a lot of favoritism out here in this sport of boxing. There's a lot of people that like to sit around, like I said, circle jerk, do a lot of revisionist historianism, if I'm allowed to make up a word. Revisionist historianism. Or they either way stuck in the past or they got rose-colored goggles for a certain fighter in today's present time and there's no accountability and you can't ask their fighter to fight nobody, but they can ask you 1,000,001 questions about your fighter and who they fighting and what's going on. It's like, hey, the man didn't prick me. You know what I'm saying? I don't suffer from a God complex. I know that I have flaws. I know that I don't know everything. I know that there's some things that I know that even if you ask me in the right point in time or whatever stress or pressure on them, I might get the answer wrong, even though I know the right answer. That's called being human. That's called being real. That's what that is. You know what I'm saying? I've gotten to a place where I don't feel like I have to lie to anybody. I don't have to make up anything. I don't have to do no narratives. Why? Because in the end, when you pull up my old videos and what I was saying back then versus what I say now, you're going to check me. I don't got to worry about that. Pull me up. Do your research. Do your homework. Do a special project. And when you do, I'll meet you back with a documentary. Facts. We building this channel brick by brick by brick. You know what I'm saying? I'm content. I'm just gonna keep talking and speaking and delivering everything to the people that I would like to be. Like, I'm talking and speaking the way that I would want somebody to talk and speak to me. So the people that's gonna come, they're gonna come. I ain't gotta sell out. I ain't gotta do backflips. I ain't gotta say, oh, you know, but no, Devin, he really won. I don't gotta say. I can say Devin is a good boxer. He has a good set of skills. I can pick a fight to where he'll dominate and beast out on this person, and I'll pick a fight where he'll get fucked up. And I can be honest both ways with no shame in my game. Everybody can't do that. Coquee, content creators have a lot of power. They can sway the opinions of fans, increase, decrease their following, and switch the narrative. Yeah, man. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, Coquee. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be honest with you. Let me read your other statement before I tell you this. I wouldn't be shocked if some content creators get money for leaning toward. Absolutely. Absolutely, Coquee. Listen. I'm gonna be honest with you. The only reason why I really started a channel, it was 2 channels that I used to watch religiously. Like the main ones I would watch every day, all day. I would watch these 2 channels. Donating, super chatting, giving it all, doing this and this and that. And then I realized on one channel in the evening, I realized that, man, they was just doing a lot of jockstrap riding for the Haney. I'm like, I start listening. I'm like, hold on, man. Like, that's not the same argument you use when you talk about this and when you talking about that. I'm like, that's not the same. And then over time, I started seeing what it was. And the first time I said something, this and this, and I heard this, I got this backlash. Everybody started jumping. I said, man, I felt like I was in a cult. It's like, man, no, I was the one sitting up there like, hey, this Kool-Aid smell funny. I'm not drinking that. This DHP Kool-Aid smell like it got some shit in it. I'm not drinking that. Got a lot of backlash. And I remember like it was yesterday, I brought my son on this one dude's, I'm not gonna say his name, but I had my son on this episode, and I brought my son, and I said, man, you really think I would hate on Bill Haney? I had my little son. I brought my son in. I said, you think I would hate on Devin Haney, on Bill and Devin Haney? And I had this little son that I admire and I appreciate, and I want to do all these things for my son that Bill did for his son. You think that's what it's based on? He was like, man, you don't gotta have your son on here. I said, no, I want to show you. I have a little son, and as a black father, I want to raise this young black man to be great, just like Bill raised his son to be great. I said, that has nothing to do with my perspective on boxing. But when you got a narrative that you got to create, a narrative you got to spin, you got a vested interest, and you can't keep it a buck. You can't keep it 10 times 10. You're subjected to do that. And you damn right they paying. They paying. They breaking the bank. I'm like, that's why Haney need all this money. That's why it's no longer legacy with Haney, even though I question whether or not it really was all this time. But that's why they need so much money, because they got to pay so many people. Because if it was just about boxing, you wouldn't hear, oh, you just want to hate on the black father. It's like, well, why we didn't hear this argument when Sean Porter was doing this with Kenny Porter? Why we didn't hear this narrative with Earl Spence's father and Earl Spence? Why we don't ever hear this father-son stuff unless it come up with the Haney? That's kind of weird. El Coquee back in the building. Damn, I had to unfollow a channel because of that. It was ruining boxing for me. I miss the old days when fans just agreed they wanted to see guys fight. Now everyone says this dude isn't good enough. That's what I'm saying. It's weird. It's real weird, man. It's real weird when when people yeah, it's real weird. What's up, Aaron, man?
What's up, bro?
It's real weird when people be like saying, "Oh man, he isn't good enough, and he hasn't done this, and he has." I'm like, man, like, are you for the fight or against the fight? I'd be like, it'd be weird, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that would be weird, yo.
Let me read these last two comments from Coquit. Yeah, Bill Haney got crazy money. Yeah, they got crazy money. They spending a lot of that money, man. It's a lot of people in pocket, and I can see it. I've been watching and following it so long. And then Coquit said, "Welcome, Aaron." Yeah. So my man Coquit.
What's up, y'all?
Man, yeah, man. Hey, I listened back to our little joint, man. We was going back and forth, man. You dropped some jewels, man. I don't think a lot of people really realize what you was saying, man. Like that night, like that was a classic episode. I'm gonna chop that up.
Look, I don't even be trying to. That's the crazy part.
I know it's just real. But that's how the real is.
That's how it is. Yeah,
when you run into the real and somebody say some real shit, it can be simple but so complex. You know what I'm saying? That's that real shit.
Yeah, man. Especially you know, cause it's like that ain't my favorite sport. You feel me? So ain't like it's too hard to tell the truth. I think boxing the only sport where people lie. Like they like bold-faced lie.
Yeah.
But it ain't enough, you know. It is true they say not a lot of people watch boxing, but low key they probably watch their favorite fighter, but you know, not a lot of people watch boxing, so it's easy for people like, you know, to lie and come on podcasts and lie. Like I think that's the only sport, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you can't do that in football. If Lamar Jackson if he throw 2 interceptions and you can clearly see that the man had 2 people on him, you can't be like. But in boxing, like you can say Tank was losing 5 rounds and then he came back. It's like man, what are you talking about, bro?
Bro, that's the dumbest shit ever.
They say that all the time. I'm like, let's rewind and look at when Tank was actually down versus what y'all saying and everybody running with it, because like I said the last time, there's a camaraderie in being able to go against the grain when it comes to Tank. Like if you say something that's contrary to him, you know that you can actually nip or you can actually pique the interest of somebody that actually hates Tank, and they're gonna be like, oh, it might not be enough for them to unsubscribe for you, but you might get that extra like because you took a dig. And it's like you wasn't even talking to troll, bro.
Yeah, that's what like I said, I fuck with Sean Porter, but that right there, it's like they almost willing to risk their credibility for Haney's. Like, I don't get it. Like whoever said that, I think they do got that guap to kick out, but that's a lot of money to be kicking out. Like that's how you know it's not authentic. Cause like, god damn, you gonna pay every YouTube to go? Like, come on, man.
But see, this is my thing, and let me read this real quick. Coquet, I'm gonna share the channel with the gym at Jim John Boxing Gym in the Bronx. Hey, salute, man. Thank you, Coquet, man. Thanks for supporting, man. But yeah, I really appreciate that, man. And any subscribers I get or any kind of, you know what I'm saying, support I get from them, I appreciate it. But yeah, this is my thing though. For some of these channels, I don't think it take much.
No,
you know I don't think it take really much to really like get them there. It might be a couple tickets. It might be you can sit on my bunk bed after the fight. You know what I'm saying? It'd be some slight shit. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think it take much, and I think it's really because people be having ambitions. You know how like when you watch some gangster movies, you know what I'm saying? You watch them gangster movies and they say, oh man, he ambitious. It's like that young dude is coming up. It's like, yeah, you start off on the corner, you ain't the big guy, but if you keep working and working, it's like they believe that if they drink the Kool-Aid and they're seen doing the advertisement, like, hey, I got the DHP Kool-Aid and I'm sipping it, that's going to get them somewhere. in all actuality, if you don't keep it real, and I see this all the time. You know, when I see it when people finally switch over. I've seen a couple people switch over, and then they can tell you everything where DHP was wrong. And it's like, well, at the present time, you knew they were wrong then. So you were playing the game all that time.
And
So I always say, man, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
I think you touched on it earlier. The fact that what you were saying about the Matias situation, how they try to call him just to call him and ain't put no real effort into making it, but they go on the podcast and then
you chopping up, Aaron. But you just paused. You good now? But yeah, what I was saying was, don't you find it strange that the day after the fight, now normally a fighter would just, they've been fasting and training and doing all this stuff. They might not have seen their wife, their daughter, their girlfriend. They might have been trying to hold their batch because you ain't supposed to be busting. You got all these things to worry about, but the next day you trying to run down a killer, a certified killer, Matias. So I knew it was bogus. It's like, well, why would you be? But then when I seen those numbers, when I heard about those numbers, I said, yeah, it kind of makes sense for you to be bragging about how much money you're getting when in all actuality, your guarantee was 1.5. Regis' guarantee was 1.5. That's 3 alone.
God,
you did between 35 and 55. So y'all didn't really make your money back. The gate wasn't even all that because y'all didn't sell out. So I'm thinking, I said I might be on the horn the next day trying to look for a fight. But I said, well, hold on. Would I be knocking on a killer's door?
They just had to get that up out of there. They had to get that out the way. Oh yeah, we called Matias.
And when have you ever seen them not be bullheaded, not being dogmatic? And why, if I'm talking to you, because according to Coach Panda, Bill was on the phone being all disrespectful, yelling, bringing all that Cali, whatever it is, man. It's like, I done met a couple people up bringing that. It's like, that shit is so offensive how they be trying to, all that fast talking and loud talking. We be like, bruh, don't talk to me like that. But the man, Juan Harango say, hey, look, man, I got more than just a boxing business. I'm a businessman. I run many different things. Boxing is just a sliver of my pie. Talk to me with respect, or I ain't gonna talk to you. So they say Juan Harango hung up on the man.
Yeah, straight up.
And he got the number, but Bill and them never went back and contacted him. I'm just like,
they had to get that out the way first, man.
Exactly. and his fans are cool with that. Or like, no, he just wanted 4. But they been for 4 years. They ran down Ryan for 4 years. He been chasing Tank for 5 years. But one phone call where y'all didn't get nothing established, you just relented on your pursuit of a Subriel Matias. Nah, because you never had intentions on fighting him in the first place. You just need to put it out there to get that out the way. We already went down that road. No, go back down that road. Be as relentless as you were with Theo and Loma and all these
hopping in rain, running down on them.
Adrian Brown, all these people y'all claim y'all was after. Why y'all not as relentless about him?
Not gonna lie though, if not to put this out there one of your times, but they be saying about Bill he used to be a pimp. I ain't gonna lie, these YouTubers was bitches, females, business will be booming. You heard me.
But it is. Listen. Bill came out after a lot of stuff hit the fan. I think it was about 2 weeks ago. He came on and said, hey, man, listen, this is what we gonna do. And blah, 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 blah. And what he said, man, it's gonna do numbers on YouTube. He came out and said it. So he actually knows that that's his mission.
Yeah,
because
YouTube.
Really, YouTube is what keep boxing going. It's the in between. It's the coffee in the morning. It's the Monster energy drink. It's the 5-hour energy to keep you in between those big major meals. YouTube is what actually keeps it. And so if he can keep them guys with a certain buzz and keep saying whatever, it's just like history, where it's a true line of history of what really happened. They still teaching us what what they say happened, right? But we know it's alternative history. But when it comes down to putting down the real history, the people that want to come up with a different timeline of what happened in history, you keep getting caught up in minutia because they keep arguing, because they keep rebutting what's coming out. And that's what they do. They put out a little bit of information to keep you distracted and arguing with that to where you can't really run down that whole history. He's a master at that. You know what I'm saying? He do that slick talk, that pimp talk, and because your channel getting views because you're coming on there, you want to
make
let
them
him
laugh.
fly.
Look, make them laugh.
Yeah.
Oh, Bill, yeah, he's funny. Every time you make a little crack at Tank, they want. I'll be like, bro, I ain't gonna lie, Bill is funny to me because I don't really take him serious because I know what he's doing, but I can't believe grown men be letting themselves get pimped out like that. Like, damn, is it that serious?
They ain't got no walls, man.
And the whole thing, this the thing too about Deontay Wilder. You see how they jump ship with him though, but that's because he got exposed, of course.
Yeah.
He got exposed, so they really can't lean on him for nothing. So they gotta go with the Haneys. But the shit Sean did, that shit crazy. Even the dude that was on the show, he was trying to push back a little bit. He was even looking at Sean like, the fuck? You ain't going to push back on that? No pushback. It was all, yes, sir, yes, sir. Yes, sir. He must have kicked some bread out, man. I don't know how much money this man got, but god damn.
Listen, let me read this real quick. Matias was on an interview in Puerto Rico, and he said his manager invited Bill Haney to a meeting in Arizona, and Bill declined. I heard they may try to invite Bill one more time before Haney books a fight.
Let me you go ahead.
But yeah.
Now that's crazy.
That's what the word. Like several people done told me that didn't happen.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, that they said that's why he came out and said the chicken. Like that's why he came out and said. Yeah, they said that actually happened before that.
I ain't gonna lie, that shit is funny when your thumbnail that pussy. That's exactly how he said it too.
Yeah, man, because we know, man. Like, hey, look, man. We already know if it's somebody, because we done dealt with this in real life. I know I done dealt with it. I'm gonna speak for myself. I done dealt with somebody like, well, damn, I'm about to have to fight this nigga, man. Like, I don't even want to fight this nigga. But it's like, it is what it is. We gonna have to, either he gonna beat me to sleep or I'm gonna have to beat him. We gonna get it on. Either way,
man.
But like when you up against that, you can't recognize that as what it is. Like, and that's what they're doing. So every time I hear somebody say, "Oh man, what do he deserve?" or "Oh, name 5 people that."
Scary.
So yeah, like that's you know what I'm saying. That's unattractive. That's like
what they say. They say about Russell. Is he available?
Yeah. You see, he ain't even come up. His name didn't even come up. And now, if you notice,
that's crazy.
If you notice, this week they've been pumping up Sandor Martin heavy. Like, he's been doing this in Spain. He got a deal with Top Rank. They just pump like he can box. Granted, he can box, but like, where does energy come from all of a sudden?
Ain't nobody asked for that fight. And ain't nobody asked for no Adrian Broner fight either.
And then there's some other cats. I think you might know who I'm talking about, but there's some other cats. They be dry hating on me too. But after I do my video, look, the next day they come out with a video, and the title is, "I think Adrian Broner fight would be great for Devin Haney." I'm like, now you in boxing, you train boxing, you got access to one of the greatest skilled boxers, one of the youngest, greatest skilled boxers of that time, and you have an affiliation with Bill Haney. You come out talking about you think that fight would be great. How would that fight be great knowing that we seen Adrian Broner, and I don't do videos about it. You know, I could go in. I don't do videos on it because I don't want to bring him down. But we seen Adrian Broner not in his right mind doing an interview with somebody should have had.
Come on, bro.
Use kid
Drunk.
gloves and said, "Nah, we're not gonna do this to Adrian."
Drunk
You know
and
what I'm saying?
drugged out.
We seen him in and out like of training camp and not being right and getting fight after fight. How, Aaron? Tell me, am I wrong? Am I hating? But how is Adrian Broner? For one, people had already said he been stopped letting his hands go. But with him being the size he is, being out of shape, being inconsistent, and knowing that he still be drinking, how is that a good fight? How is that an excellent fight for Devin Haney, other than a cherry pick? Tell me.
That's a blatant cherry pick. And they know, and if anything, he'll just be looking for a payday because he know damn well he ain't gonna win that fight. If that's the case, why not? See, that's what I'm saying. Don't. Is he back with Al Haney?
Nah, he with Don King.
They can make every. I was gonna say they can make every fight. That is so crazy, and nobody don't say nothing about that shit. They can make every fight possible except for a one simple Al Heyman card, man. Like when they was fighting Regis, what did he tell him? He was like, "Oh yeah, I talked to Eddie Hearn about fighting you already," but then say, "Oh, nobody can't get in contact with Al." Yo, you can't.
Yeah,
make this
you know
shit
why?
up, bro.
You know why? And see, they are masters at this too. See, they got DHP, which is a promotional company, which allows them to get a percentage of the promotion. So they can be in the room when the numbers will come out because they gotta know them because they part of the promotion. But it's a sliver of the pie. But they're still attached to big promotion who actually cut the check. So really, it's not conducive for them to call Al because they're calling Al for a tank in which he's $101 million man. So you can't get a piece of that pie, and they're not going to want to talk to anybody because the people that's cutting the check, they have their platform interest in mind. So Eddie has the Zone's platform interest in mind. So unless there's some rights and we can be able to sell this overseas and do whatever, but we're not going to do a deal with you and make your guy all this money who he hasn't proved that he can put enough butts in the seats to actually guarantee the pay. That's what I was talking about this Regis and Devin thing. If they were guaranteed 1.5, that's $3 million. If they did 35,000 pay-per-views in a low-ass gate, that don't even make up what their guarantee is. You can't go to another company talking about, oh yeah, I demand this or I want this much money.
No.
And your guy that made $101 million, and they're gonna tell you, sit your ass down, like lower your tone. Sit down.
Calm down when you talking to me. Like, and I try to say it on the text, on your post, but you probably ain't get it. But on that interview, that Sean Porter interview, he said, yeah, they keep talking about you the A side, you should be making us an offer. But then at the same time say, we the real bosses. He know how to get in contact with us and make the fight. I'm like, bro, y'all literally just contradicted yourself. And Sean ain't say nothing about it. I'm like, bro, this boxing shit is it's getting real frustrating because it's so simple to make that fight. Man, how many, even that, whoever the fuck, what that is, boxing, the Haney voice. Somebody was on there and said all the great fights happened either at somebody had to move up or somebody had to move down. Either way it got made. And they were fights that everybody talk about to this day.
Yeah, like that's why they get off on the rehydration and who moves up and move. I think that they don't understand the principle behind it. Let me get this guy. Melazar Khan Sabar. What's up, guy? What's up, Melazar? You know what I'm saying? Salute in the building. And Kokui said, I feel like Bill giving Rona money to set up a fake feud because Rona knows how to sell a fight. So good payday, low risk. Now listen, Kokui. Regis Program is one of my guys.
Sandor Martin.
Listen, Regis Prograis is one of my guys. Just like Jamel Charlo is one of my guys. So when I saw Jamel Charlo go in there with Canelo Alvarez and his power punch, his attempt rate, his punch is strong, was nowhere near the number. His accuracy was nowhere near the number. Body work was nowhere near the number. I said, oh man, he just went in there. So what I'm looking at when I see Regis, when I look back at that fight and I say, man, what was going on with Regis, man? He said something before that fight that made my antennas go up. I was like, because remember, I'm gonna walk y'all down this path. Y'all remember in that fight with Regis and Devin, how Regis said that, remember it was a big deal that Regis came out and said that the Haneys actually had paid to get something expunged off their record in Mexico. You remember that, AJ?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, remember that. So that was in the back of my mind. I was like, okay, so you know that
that bank came out though. I forgot who said it. Who else said it? I think it might have been. Who was it, bro? Somebody else said it.
I don't know.
They was on it. Yeah, somebody. I'm telling you.
I heard that a while ago, but Regis kind of reignited that. So he had me. So remember that was a big point of contention. Everybody making videos about that, and I said, oh, okay, cool. Regis, he ain't showing no respect. I applaud Regis because I think that a lot of people show the Haneys too much respect. They can be disrespectful if they want, but the minute you be disrespectful, everybody now, you got to have a strong character to actually be able to do it. But you got to be able to show this dude that, like, I'm going to put my feet on your couch, Rick James style, I'm going to punch you in your mouth. You got to bring all that kind of energy. But listen to this. Before the fight happened, Regis came out and said, I got something that's coming out after the fight. Like, listen. We already said it. We already did it. We got something coming out where he was on a reality TV show with one of the Haneys. My antennas flipped up. I said, what?
Oh, man.
So you got a business interest with this dude after this fight? So when I actually saw the fight and I saw that Regis only landed 38 punches, I said, oh, man, he might have sold the farm.
Yeah, because he was, before the fight, he hopping in the tub, like, this what I gotta go through. I'm like, oh man, he right. And then look, the knockdown was so phony that everybody knows you knock somebody down, you supposed to go for the kill, right? But that's not Haney. You feel me? He not like that. You could tell, because when he knocked him down, he was like, all right, got that out the way. That's a bonus for Regis. So let's just finish this fight with some boxing, like I usually do. So why I ain't do that with Loma? Loma is way littler. He way bigger. He bigger than Loma. And look, T.O. was bigger than. Not to say T.O. ain't not more, but I don't know what the fuck was wrong with T.O. during the last, little ending of the fight, but he couldn't even lock Loma out, and he supposed to be better than T.O. What everybody was saying. So like, what the fuck? Y'all just out here selling. I'm telling you, they don't want to fight Tank, bro. They just want his fans.
Yeah, like, and you can see it. And shout out to Melazar Concebar. I was in Argentina chat. Now I'm back in the state. Represent. You know what I'm saying? Represent. But like when it come down to it, it's like, it's like sometimes, like a boxer can say whatever they want. Like you can read their post, you can see their tweet, they can say whatever. You actually have to look at their track record of action. Exactly. And Devin Haney has put out enough. They put out enough information, and they've shown a track record where their actions are a certain way. When they want to fight you, when they know they got the ups, because think about this. A lot of people didn't catch this, I don't think. Think about this. Devin Haney went to the Ryan Garcia fight. And after the fight, he left. He barely even gave. A couple people got interviews, but it was walking by. He was walking out. They was walking by, but he didn't stay. He didn't get in the ring. Think about when he went to the Lomachenko fight. He stayed. He got in the ring. He got his camera time, and then look at what happened when Crawford and Shakur got in his. I mean, when Devin fought Loma and Shakur got in the ring, look at how he left.
Yeah,
Now, what happened was when he went to the Tank and Ryan fight, they were expecting Ryan to upset the apple cart. You can't tell me otherwise, because if Ryan would have upset the apple cart, he would have gotten in the ring. Yep. But he didn't get in the ring. But think about when they want to fight somebody, how they relentlessly pursue. Think about, oh man, he took peanuts for Cambosis. He went overseas for Cambosis. He had to sign up to do it twice, and he was going to do it without his father and all this, whatever. Think about the energy that he put towards that fight versus what he's doing with Matias versus what he does with Tank. He'll say all that stuff. Think about when he called Eddie. He's like, man, I already been. Soon as they seen that performance with Regis Prograis and Zarilla, you seen a tweet with Devin Haney out there talking about how I've already reached out to Eddie about it. But why we ain't see the same tweet about you reaching out to Al? Because you don't really want that smoke.
Yeah, because I seen on Twitter the same interview with Sean Porter. See, they pick and choose. I don't think they don't like Tank. It's just the fact what Tank represents. Because when it came to Shakur, Bill was like going for a clip. I'm like, catch that when he said that. Whole time, man. Like, what is y'all doing in people's faces, man? Y'all really is. Come on, man. And then look, this the thing, body work. This another gem. They go on a podcast and YouTube. Yeah, that's where boxing is at, right? Like we said. But guess what though? They trying to steal Tank fans. Tank fans is not on YouTube. Tank fans is, I'm gonna keep it real with you. Tank fans is right out here right now where I'm at, Baltimore. They on a block somewhere, or you feel me? They not on YouTube, bro. You stealing YouTube, the real, what they call hardcore boxing fans. That's what you trying to steal, I guess, because the fans that go to the fights, that fly out to the fights, well, no matter where they at, not just in his hometown, because Tank ain't fought here since like when, 2019? Bro, they not on no fucking YouTube, bro. You're not gonna steal no fans off of no Porterway podcast. It's just not happening. YouTube is for hardcores and hardcores only.